This is coupling. Start here at the tractor. Your pendulum valve is properly mounted. Not bent, broke, or cracked, and you hear no leaks. Coming from it is your air lines. They're intact. There are no cuts, no frays. You can hear no leaks. They're combined with the electrical line up to the spring hanger and the spring hanger bar. The springs are intact. They got good tension to keep the lines off the catwalk. There are no cuts or frays on any of the lines, no exposed wire. You hear no leaks. At the end of each airline is a glad hand. They are intact. They're not bent, broke, cracked. You hear no leaks. They're connected to the glad hand receptors. They are also not bent, broke, or cracked. And inside, they are seals, 4 seals, 1 in each. 2 on each line. They're intact. They're not dry rotted. Electrical line. At each end, you have a pigtail, both on the cab and on the trailer. Inside, there are electrical pins, copper. There's no corrosion. They're straight. They're not bent, and there's no debris inside. There's a safety latch on each end to help prevent the pigtail from coming out. Here, your electrical box is properly mounted to the front of the trailer. It's not bent, broke, cracked. Down below it is your electrical lines. There's no cuts, no frays, no bare wire shown. Also your air lines, they're intact. No cuts or frays, and here no leaks. Down below that is your skid bar. The skid bar is properly mounted. It's not bent, broke, cracked. The welds are intact. It's also welded to the apron. The apron is also intact. It's not bent, broke, or cracked. No additional holes other than what the manufacturer has supplied. There's no daylight between the apron and the fifth wheel. At the front of the fifth wheel, you have your adjustment bolt. It's not bent, broke, or cracked. It's properly mounted. It has a nut, a spacer, and a washer. Down below that is your release handle. It's straight. It's not bent, broke, or cracked. Has no safety latch. Over here, the fifth wheel, it's properly mounted with 2 bolts, 2 nuts, and 2 pins. It's mounted to just checking.
Okay.
Platform bracket. It's not bent, broke, or cracked. It's properly mounted to the slide rail. Slide rail is welded to a plate. Plate is welded or bolted to a L bracket, which is bolted to the frame. All nuts and bolts are present, tight. All welds are intact. This is the sliding fifth wheel. It's been disabled by the shop right here. This sliding fifth wheel is locked in position. In the inner side here, you have 4 pins that are connected to this spring actuated shock. They are engaged in these slots. It prevents the fifth wheel from sliding. Alright, and then we go to the back here. You have enough room to crawl underneath to check the kingpin. Alright, the kingpin is straight. It's not bent, broke, or cracked. It's properly mounted. It's in the lock position with the locking jaws, which are also not bent, broke, or cracked. I can see that the fifth wheel and the apron are both properly greased. That's coupling.